Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the GSR podcast. I'm here with Mike Mobasha, and we have Mossy joining us on the line. All right, guys. It's been a while since we did one of these. Hopefully, we get it rolling. A lot of people have requested. They want to know what happened and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But obviously, it is a pandemic and things do happen, and we got tied up with our personal lives. But we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about all the breaking news that has happened. NBA, NFL, big playoffs weekend. So We're excited about that. First and foremost, let's get right into it. Let's hop into the NBA.
Masa, you in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So let's talk about the NBA. The news broke. Obviously, everybody knows. James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets. As soon as we heard it, we're like, yo, we have to do a podcast on this. I'm going to leave my reservations last because obviously I am a Brooklyn fan. But let's hear from you guys. What do you think about the trade?
I don't like it.
I don't like it. All right, we're going to have to go one at a time.
As a Laker fan, I like it.
All right, go ahead, Mubasha, since you want to talk about it. Speak on it first. What is it that you don't like about the trade?
Bro, the Nets just gave up way too much. This guy is not even in shape right now. And you give up 4 first round swaps. Your rising star in LeVert, who's I feel like still hasn't reached his max potential, and your best big man defender. Who's their big man right now? DeAndre Jordan?
That's it.
Yes.
He's not guarding Embiid. He's not guarding Giannis.
Yeah, he got no shot up against those guys. They're too versatile. I mean, for me, I don't like the trade. What I found interesting was KD's kind of coy in the beginning, where he's like, I don't want to talk about the James Harden trade and blah blah blah. And now it comes out, yeah, me and Harden been talking about this for months, trying to form the super team. I mean, hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. I think it was classless how Harden went out. He's like, oh, there's no getting better. I'm out. Pretty much is what he said. And I think for an organization that gave him everything, that's crazy. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to be the king. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do to throne LeBron in the Lakers right now. As a former Laker hater, I can see, how that teaming up is going to help them out. But, I mean, they run the East, bro. It's automatic. The Bucks have no shot. The Heat have no shot. Who in the East could beat that team? I don't even know if there's only the Lakers probably in the West can beat them. It looks crazy. But I wonder how Kyrie and Harden are going to get along.
Is Kyrie coming back?
I don't know.
Does anyone know?
Kyrie, where you at, bro?
So, Mossy, we want to hear from you. What's your take?
I mean, let's start off by seeing who you guys traded for and gave up so much. This was the same guy that went on Game 7 and went ice cold in the playoffs to lose to Golden State, where they had the best chance to win. He teamed up with Dwight when he first started. I know Dwight wasn't that crazy, but he couldn't get along with. Then Chris Paul came. He couldn't get along with Chris Paul. They didn't win nothing. Then Westbrook, who he wanted and traded for, came in. And after 1 year, the guy's like, I'm done with this. I'm out of here. That's the guy that just forced his way out to join Brooklyn. You gave 4 first-round picks. You gave a great homegrown talent to bring it to a team that's right now, before this Harden trade, the whole media was talking about is how Irving is nowhere to be found, which he's still not, how it's dysfunctional. He's mad that Steve Nash was picked as a coach and he had no say. Now you brought another alpha dog into that locker room. Mm-hmm. As much as friends and all that, all of a sudden we started hearing that Durant and Irving are distant now. So I think this was more of an insurance for Brooklyn than anything, because they don't know what they're going to get from Irving. And if Irving is not there, James Harden and Durant, yes, they're going to be awesome. There's 2 superstars. They're amazing. They're one-time generational talent. But are they really going to do anything, just them two, with now weaker bench? You gave up your big man. You have nobody down low. Yeah. And if Irving's not playing, you basically have 3 superstars and no bench, no other pieces around them. And we have seen how that goes down. So if they don't win a championship, I think this was a huge mistake for Brooklyn again. If they do, then it's going to be all worth it. So, I mean, a trade like this, you're going to know in a year or two. So, but to just look it off the bat, I don't like the trade. Harden, again, like this was, like Mike said, this was a bad way to leave. And I don't want to hear shit about LeBron doing the decision because at least he reached free agency, then he chose his team.
Yeah.
All these players are complaining and, you know, I don't want to say the word bitching out and trying to make their way and push their way out. It's happening in football. It's all across sports. But honestly, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you're a Brooklyn fan, yes, you wake up, you're very happy. You got one of the best superstars in the game in your team. But in the same time, how he got there, you're going to forgive it till he starts losing. If that team doesn't win, then Brooklyn messed up. And you gave up homegrown talent, kids that took you to the playoffs with nothing there. You gave those pieces up and your future, basically. I don't want to hear it split between 1 year and it's 4 rounds. If you're good, those picks are nothing. It's still 4 years of first-round picks. Your whole playoff team was built with late-round picks. And you took all that and you blew up for these two superstars. They have to win a championship at this point. If they don't, then it was a big mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? I think that side of it is overlooked, the whole, like, LeBron side of the situation. Like, Harden is seen as a superstar in the league, and nobody's talking trash about that. I mean, like I said, I'm a former LeBron hater on the decision, but now when you look at things like what Harden did, right, and what Kyrie did in Boston, you kind of look and you're like, man, like, was the decision really that bad? Like, was that really that bad of a situation for LeBron to be like, I'm going to go on national television. I'm going to make sure that there's a donation because my name is on this thing and I can give back to people. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to make a decision and I'm going to go where I want to go. Now you have Harden pretty much did the same thing, but worse, right? Kyrie did the same thing, right? Out of his way out of Cleveland, went to Boston. Almost tried to tear down that organization, went to Brooklyn. Goes to Brooklyn, gets hurt, is semi-tearing down that organization, and KD's like, I want to leave Steph and Clay. I'm going to go play with you. He's like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm all right, I'm going to be here. And now he's not here. So, you know, where do you kind of draw the line on, is a decision even that bad anymore now that you look back on it? But no one's talking about that part. I mean,
Brooklyn's handcuffed right now. I mean, they gave the players all the power. So at this point, they have no option but to go with it. I mean, there's the news coming out of the locker room. The Durant's still behind Kyrie Irving. Imagine you don't go to your job and you're getting paid, and all you do is you don't tell your bosses or anything that you're coming. You're getting paid $400,000 a game. They're still paying him. He's not showing up, but he can get on a Zoom call to endorse his political views or do his birthday for his sister and dad. But you're not showing up to your job. This is a team game. We forget this. You build chemistry. I don't care if it's the first 20 games. Be here. Like, if I'm in that locker room, I'm like, why do I have to be here and not get paid? And this guy just couldn't walk away whenever he wants and not tell the coach or anything. I don't know. I think, like I said, we'll see what happens as the season goes along. But to me, it's not you just brought a disgruntled player into a locker room that was already in turmoil to start with about Irving. Thanks. So I don't know how it will play out, but we'll see.
All right, Nets fan, what you got?
Let me go. Quite a few points there you guys hit on the head. So first and foremost, when the news broke, honestly, I had similar thoughts of like, oh, man, we gave up Karis LeVert, Jared Allen. The picks, I really don't care about the picks too much because picks are nothing until proven otherwise. Because if picks was something, then where's Boston at? Like, they took all our first-round picks when we did that KG and what Paul Pierce trade, and look what it turned out. We've actually gotten further than they have. Mind you, they have young talent and upcoming stars, but they haven't made the finals. They've made it to Eastern Conference Finals, one time? So picks are whatever. For me, the Jared Allens and Karis LeVert, at first, like I said, it was a little disheartening, but when I got to actually think about it, if someone's offering me a Harden-type caliber player, I'm taking that deal. I'm sorry. I mean, this is why you build and develop players, so when an opportunity presents itself, you got to take it. You can't worry about like, oh, well, he's homegrown talent. Yeah, that's why you built him up so you could take advantage of situations like this. So that's that. Obviously, I'm happy that Harden is here. Is he really fat? Yeah, he does look fat, but I think that's also, I think that's a misrepresentation of himself that he's putting out there. Because I spoke about this earlier with Mossy. Dude, how are you playing 30 minutes a night while you're fat? That's hard. I mean, I'm a slim dude, and I can't run 30 minutes the way he's playing basketball. So I think, is he a little bit out of shape? Sure. Can he get into shape? There's like 60 games left, so he'll get himself right. As far as the Kyrie Irving thing goes, so it's all about the players in that locker room. I don't know, you don't know, and these reports, these are alleged reports. Nothing is factual. So for all we know, everyone in that locker room is okay with Kyrie doing his thing. As a Nets organization, you signed on to this. You knew what you're getting from Kyrie. So this isn't really news. Like, oh, I mean, I know it should be frustrating. Like, everyone else is there, they're doing the work. But for me I think different. I'm like, all right, well, what are you gonna do? Like, that's Kyrie. That's who he is. So you just hope that when time comes, he's gonna be there and they're gonna ball out. Was this move done because Kyrie was not showing up? I mean, the GM said it has nothing to do with that. This was just they're taking advantage of an opportunity. So that's that.
I can respect where you're coming from, because when the Lakers traded for AD, everyone was like, "Oh, you guys gave up way too much for him," but we got Anthony Davis in return, and it worked out for us. So James Harden is like top 5 players. So
yeah, and as far as like players acting out, like, yes, how they went about it to get their way with James Harden, like, acting the way he did, that's wrong. But bro, this is the league that I don't want to sound like, oh, you're just saying this because you're a LeBron hater or anything. But this is what, basically, when LeBron made that decision, it allowed other players to be empowered. Which is nothing wrong. Hold on, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. But you've empowered players to feel like, okay, we run the show. And right, you said that, Kyrie and KD, they run the team. Bro, LeBron runs every team that he goes into. And you can't say outside of Miami, where like we knew that it was Pat Riley that was running it, but LeBron runs his teams. You think who's making those moves in Lakers? It's not Rob Pelinka. It's LeBron and Rich Paul and them. So these guys are empowered. Yeah, they're which is like, okay, that's...
No, but your point... Listen, you took my concept... Listen, let's back up first of all to the Kyrie comment. You can't tell me this is who he is and this is what you signed up with. That's the fan side of looking at it. There's no explanation for this guy to do this. I don't care how okay. Obviously, the team is not going to come out and say we're not okay because you're hoping he's going to come back. But there's no way you can just be like, oh, that's... Okay, what if it's game 7? And this guy's like, I got shit to do, bro. I can't make it tonight. I got to pull up by this pilot. You can't say that and say that he's a team player. We talk about how championships are built with team players, how it's Mamba mentality, right? We talk about Mamba mentality about everything. People, it's little. How is that okay? First of all,
no, it's not okay. It's not okay.
No. But you can't be. But you said you have to be okay with it because this is what you signed up for. That's Kyrie. That's what he does. You can't have that excuse for the man. Second, what LeBron did was he was a free agent. He did not force himself out of a team by not playing, by going into conference and be like, you know what, yo, this team ain't going nowhere, bro. I got to get out of here.
But I didn't say that.
Showing up. No, you said they empowered. That's not empowering. Empowering was when you, like, LeBron do that, and that showed people, oh, I can do that. Second, as good as James Harden is, as good as other players have done it is, you're talking about LeBron compared to these people. There's a big difference when running a team. Durant came into a championship team. Now he came to Brooklyn. Durant's the only man that has a say in that team. You're right. They should ask Durant.
And KD did say he doesn't want to even run the team. He's like, Kyrie
He
could lead.
doesn't,
I'm just trying to
because
hoop.
Yeah, word.
I'm just
there
trying to
you
hoop.
go. That's what great players do. But these, like LeBron does everything. He doesn't come out and say do that. He shows up for games. Like you can't bring LeBron into this conversation because now you're just talking about hating. Because I didn't compare. All I said was I don't want to hear it no more because my man.
But you
waited
just
for
brought it
free
up. You
agency.
said don't bring
No, I
LeBron, but you
it
brought
up.
him up. So how you
No,
gonna
I
say
brought
that's
it up.
You
I
see, I'm
brought
trying
it
to
up
talk
as
about
if
the
he was
same
a
point.
Free agent. No. I said as a free agent, he did it the right way. You can wait, ball out. You're a free agent. You are more than welcome to do whatever you want and pick whatever team you want. But he got shitted on for that. I mean, he was a free agent. And now we're making excuses. If James Harden did this and it went anywhere else, Ali, you would not be okay with it like you are because you're a Brooklyn fan. If Irving was doing this in Boston, you would not be okay with it because you're a Brooklyn fan. I just want to say your points came across as like making excuses for Irving, like it's okay, he's doing that because that's who he is. Let's give him a pass because that's who he is. You can't give him a pass and just say that's who Irving is, so we're going to let him do that. You gotta he can't. If I'm a Brooklyn fan, I'll be mad. Yo, show up to the game, build chemistry. Now we got Harden. You better be in every game, build chemistry because it's championship time. We gave up so much to get you guys here, free up cap space, didn't sign, gave up D'Angelo Russell to bring you guys open cap space. Be here. Win a championship. How is it a fan you're okay? If LeBron is doing that, I'm pissed. Why are you sitting out?
Yeah, even
why are you sitting out?
Even sometimes
you finally got something going, and your point guard, star point guard that you paying $33 million a year, you're okay with missing 4 games, and he can miss another 3 games. You miss 7 games. You miss a seed by 2 games. You don't want to see Milwaukee in the first round because your point guard had something to do and missed 4 games, and you guys went 2-2.
But that's the thing,
I'm
right?
done. Sorry.
Like, but here's the thing. Like, so I could be angry and like, where's Kyrie, this and that. But unless the management team doesn't do anything about it, what am I gonna be angry about? What am I gonna be angry for?
I wouldn't make excuses for him though. You could be angry, you could be upset that he's doing that. Want him better from him. You want the best from everything, right? At your job, you want your boss to do the best for their employees. As a fan, you want your players that you invest so much time rooting for to be the best that they can be for you. You paying him $33 million, holding up mad cap space, and he doesn't want to show up to games. That's the kind of player you want your superstars as a superstar? No, I'm sorry. As a fan, that's ridiculous.
And thinking about it, the only reason why it's acceptable right now is COVID. Like, whether we want to admit that or not, if people were paying their hard-earned dollars and you're charging probably astronomical prices to see Kyrie and Harden, like, it's just that COVID is here, so you can't go to games. But if you wanted to go to a game, imagine if that game was televised and you rolled up, you're like, I'm about to go see Kyrie and KD play basketball. And they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, Kyrie's not coming today. And we don't know when he's going to be back. And you're a season ticket holder and your prices went up like, let's say they went up 10,000 because those two are here.
The owner didn't know where he was.
That's
the coach
crazy.
Didn't know where he was.
So, like, longevity-wise, you think about it, you have this guy. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, LeBron load manages, like, and that does happen. The dude's mad old. Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, or Kyrie especially, is not mad old. He don't got no aches and pains, and that's why he's out of the game. Look, as African-American male, I understand the activism standpoint. I get it.
Right.
But you have power. You can create that platform. You can create the platform. You don't have to always join in on the platform. You can be the platform and navigate and dominate that space if that's what you want to do. But instead, he's deciding to take the road of, I'm going to join in with everybody else. You have the power, right? You have the power to tell owners and GMs that you're not going to show up to games. You got power to tell fans pretty much like, flick the bird, I'm not coming to a game. That's not cool, yo.
So with D'Angelo Russell, when they asked him about Washington, D.C., he asked the reporters, like, what do you guys feel about it?
Yeah. So, like, when they
open up that conversation.
Right. You have the power to do that. They were talking about Breonna Taylor and all that stuff during the bubble. What was Kyrie doing then when he didn't want to go to the bubble?
Dude, well,
he wasn't doing nothing.
We can't say those things because I could pull up reports and stuff of Kyrie doing things behind the scenes that was never reported.
That was money. That's fun.
He's donated his time and stuff. Again, the thing with Kyrie is because it backtracks with Boston. He's a bit of aloof,
But
it doesn't shock me that he does it. Yeah, well, if it's in the playoffs and he pulls something like this, of course you're gonna be pissed. I guess I'm not as mad because this is the beginning of the season and we're not in the playoffs. We're not in the playoff race. We are in the playoff race, but it's not towards the end of the season. Yeah, it come back to me and be like, yeah, Kyrie's not here at the end of the season still. Then I'll be angry. One thing, I think he should also forfeit some game checks if he's willing to do this.
That's fair.
I agree. He should forfeit game checks. But anyways, we can talk about the Kyrie thing nonstop. The thing is, I want to just talk about James Harden and what are the expectations now for this team.
Championship.
Obviously, mine is
championship or bust.
Form from 2018, then it's a good trade.
Bro, regardless of MVP form or not to you're right, first of all.
If he plays that intensity and talent that he was playing,
they have to win.
Even Harden right now at the level,
but you don't want Harden and KD developing that chemistry without Kyrie, and then Kyrie coming and screwing that relationship.
That's the whole point. This is why Kyrie is so important. If I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, I'm scared because he's done this. He blew it up in Boston. This is how it started in Boston. That's what it scares me. It's not that he's just doing this and it's like, okay, it's COVID. Maybe he's trying to be an activist. He just blew up a whole team in Boston. He did the same thing and pulled himself out. He pulled himself from LeBron because he wanted to lead a team. If Kyrie's not in Brooklyn, I see it. They're not even passing Milwaukee. If Kyrie comes and they uniform and they play, it's championship or bust for Boston. They have to win a ring in the next 3 years that KD is there, or this is all for nothing.
Before the season started, we're like, wow, they got Kyrie, LeVert, and Dinwiddie. Yeah. 3 guys that can run the point guard.
That's true.
Dinwiddie's out. LeVert just got traded, and Kyrie's nowhere to be found. So now we got
James Harden at the point guard.
Yeah, but to be honest though, because KD's so prolific, I know he's coming out from the Achilles. Don't get me wrong, KD is the one player besides LeBron that deserves load management. Him,
with the
LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis still has a lingering heel issue. Still.
He's a big man.
Right? So you have those 3 that deserve that time. So when you look at it, even if Harden in the form that he is now with KD as a prolific scorer, they still are championship or bust. Still. Either which way. Even if Kyrie never shows back up. Now, if Kyrie does show up, it just makes it worse that he's a Brooklyn Net. It just makes it worse for them. It doesn't make it any better. Because people will have these expectations of this team. This is the biggest blockbuster trade since Anthony Davis went to the Lakers. That wasn't even as big as this.
Yeah.
Because AD, like Masi said about LeBron, was a free agent. Well, I think he was a restricted free agent. But he was still in that free agency period. Harden has
he had a deal left. Yeah,
he had a year left. Right, so he's a restricted free agent.
Basically.
Right, and Harden has a whole deal left over.
Yeah, 2 years.
A whole legit deal left over. So at the end of the day, for the Nets, expectations wise, to me as a fan, it has to be championship or bust, because the Lakers had the same expectation. They had the same expectation. They got 2 superstars, and they had the expectation.
Right.
The Nets have 3 superstars. Mm-hmm. If Golden State was held to that with KD, so the Nets need to be held to it as well.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. At least for me, that's how I feel. And I'm a Net fan. So any Net fan that says no, it's not, then you don't know what you're talking about.
Facts.
Anyways, yeah, definitely. I don't think the team is complete. They're going to definitely need some pieces. What do you guys think now that I was thinking about this? You think the Lakers will try to move to get someone like Bradley Beal?
Lakers don't need anyone.
Yeah, nah.
We're so deep.
I don't think we kind of don't, bro.
You don't think it
if Bradley Beal,
I don't even think the Lakers has reached their full potential yet.
But who are you gonna trade? Who are you gonna trade? Who would you trade?
Yeah, that'll be tough.
Yeah,
You're
Dennis
gonna have
Schroeder.
to move some picks and
I'll give you Kuzma and 2 picks
Yeah,
for Bradley Beal. That's all I'm gonna give you. I'm not giving you Schroeder because he's a point guard that plays defense. I'm not giving you Gasol because I don't have another person for AD besides Harrell.
Not giving you Trez.
I'm not giving you Montrez. I can't give you KCP. That's my heartbeat. I lost Rondo. If I had Rondo, I'll trade you KCP. But I don't have Rondo.
So let's
Can't
say,
give you White Mamba.
Can't do that. Caruso's
God.
but Caruso's the heartbeat of the bench. I know like all that stuff. Like you think about these players and it's like,
Well, that's why they let Rondo walk.
yeah, but you think about it, you're like, all these players like Caruso, like who would really be talking about this guy? Yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, like these guys, LeBron,
Now
as you
even
say,
Torrent Tucker.
yeah, I wouldn't give a THT either. Nope.
So you want to give up some of those
Well,
players?
I
for
would give up
Bradley Beal?
No, hear me out. You're right. I would give up THT and Kuzma and a pick for Beal. That's not even enough for him. That's not enough to get him, but that's all I have available to give to you for that man. We can't get him. It's not possible.
But we don't need him.
We don't need him, but it would be really nice to have him. I mean,
Wait,
if we
so
went up against the
if-
Nets, they'd have no shot.
They want to have a shot, right? Like if they
Who's
okay,
guarding
right,
AD?
right now,
Who on the Nets
I
Who's
would
guarding
no.
AD?
Who
Who's
on
guarding
the Nets
AD?
plays
Kyrie's getting cooked by Beal. What you talking about? If we got Bradley Beal?
No, I'm saying if you don't have Bradley Beal.
Oh yeah, I'm saying if we had Bradley Beal, we would cook the Nets.
Okay. I was about to say, well,
We would cook the league. It's over.
But no. Guys, what has Harden done in the playoffs that we're thinking that they can stand up
It's not
to
about Harden.
veterans? But I'm just
Kevin
saying.
Durant.
It's about KD. Yeah.
KD was there before, all right? KD's going to get his. I get it. That you're going to get his. But that team, you have no down low. AD's going to eat all day. But the fact that we're sitting here, that Lakers are in a position that can add a player that's the caliber of Bradley Beal, and they did the most moves, they're the champions. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, assemble all the team you want. The Lakers are the champs right now. And they did the best moves in the offseason. They won the offseason. That team is loaded in the bench easily.
The Lakers?
And if they add a Bradley, yes.
Wesley Matthews, Marcus
If you bring Bradley Beal in that team that they don't even need, I wouldn't even put the Nets' chances in the 20s against that team. That person, you can debate that all you want. Like I said, I don't see anybody blocking AD. They're too big. LeBron and KD cancel themselves out. All right, who's going to be better than AD? James Harden is a 3-point shooter, and he has shown nothing in the playoffs. So till he proves and wins a couple of games, which he should with a super team now, but to even get there, Milwaukee, you guys are sleeping on Milwaukee. Milwaukee's huge. It's going to be hard to guard that team. That's a bad matchup for the Nets. They need to get through the East first.
That's
Milwaukee's
true.
going to be a
tough
matchup.
You guys just need a big man.
Of matchups, right? It's all
they're
about
gonna pick
matchups.
somebody
The
up.
Heat beat the Milwaukee
have
Bucks
to.
last
They
year.
have Bam Adebayo.
Realistically, Brooklyn's gonna pick up some pieces.
You about to
Bro,
hold on.
we got
Cena just
K-
gave
we
me a
got-
look for
we got-
Bam
wait,
Adebayo.
We got KD though. What are you talking about?
KD's not gonna.
Listen,
KD's gonna guard Giannis.
Who's a better roster, the Heat or the Nets?
It's not.
And then the
KD
Heat beat the
is
Bucks.
not finna guard eight.
Yo, we don't have time. We
Antetokounmpo.
don't have time.
Oh
we don't
my
have time.
God.
We're running low on time.
We gonna talk about this in the next episode. Y'all gotta get on for
But
this.
Miami's a
because
great team.
That's a fact.
guys, I'm just saying, Brooklyn Nets have to do something first. Get Kyrie back.
No,
If
of course.
Kyrie's in that
I agree.
team,
Get Kyrie back on the field, on the
Kyrie
court.
is the X factor in this thing. You
gotta
don't
put
have
some
another
ads in
point guard.
newspapers.
You don't have another point guard. You don't have a big man. But let's move on to NFL because I'm excited to talk about
That's
it.
Before we
right.
get into that wraps up this episode of the GSR podcast. Stay tuned as we kick it off with the NFL episode. So peace.
Peace.